And I signed the book for him, and I write these words. And these are the words that I often write when you come to one of my events. I write, "We are family." And I write this because this is something I want my readers to know, that we are deeply connected as human beings. And as he reads this, he looks at me and says, finally, the book was good. And then, right before I have the chance to speak, he will turn around and walk out of the bookstore. And I will turn to the next person on the signing line. However, for the rest of the evening, I will think of this man because I know from having met so many Koreans that it took a great deal for him to show up to a reading. And I know he has worked very hard in his life, often alone, often obscure, and often misunderstood by his American peers. And he has never been praised sufficiently for all that he has done. And I know that his patient gave him a book because patients give presents to their doctors who are good doctors. And I want him to know that though he is not my doctor, I value his work too. The other kind of Korean American who shows up to my events is usually a little younger, anywhere from 16 years old to about 35. I get both young men and young women, and with them I am less afraid because I'm a college professor. So I feel comfortable with my young people. And the young Korean will always rush up to me and he will say some variation of the following things. When I read your book, I started to understand my father. After I read your book, I called my grandmother and asked her questions that I had never asked her before. And after I read your book, I became proud of my history. And no matter how long the signing line is, this is what I usually say. Do you know why I wrote these books? And the young man will ask me, why? I wrote it because I think we're fascinating. And he will look at me, puzzled, like I'm speaking Latin. And I tell him, I believe we are heroic, tragic, romantic, long-suffering, and I believe we are powerful. I tell him this because I want to bless him, even if the Western world says Asians are like machines, robotic and inscrutable, and like machinery, we should remain invisible. Dude, I say, you and I are nothing short of epic. And maybe he thinks I'm crazy. But at that point, I can't stop myself. So I speak to this young man as if he is my only son. And so I ask him, do you know for whom I wrote these books? And he will shake his head. And then I say, I wrote it for you. I wrote it for us. And I'm glad you are here because it means so much to me. And it does. And this does. Now, why are we here tonight? It certainly cannot be to honor two ajumas. Although Juju is very worthy.